This is Medihealing Sundays, and what we do here is, well, we transform the world. Okay, and it's through powerful metahealings. I call them metahealings. What a metahealing is a deep state of meditation, way beyond, say, your normal state of meditation, and then a self-healing in one. It's that transformative. I would suggest that it even changes, your DNA. Okay, that's how deep it goes. The way it does that is through exponential intelligence. It's a body of knowledge. Call it human potential sciences. It literally transforms you, and we use this to accelerate people into their best possible self. Okay, the way we do that, or how I've come about that, I know because there's a lot of new people here. How I've come about that is through two near-death experiences. Through two near-death experiences, I've been able to see what's actually, creates this reality. So it goes into, if you want to call it, I don't know if you want to call me the Matrix man, or just, jumping into the Matrix and really understanding to get a better version. Say that you have, you're in the dark. You're in the dark. You can't really see what's going on in life. You don't know, what it is that's happening or why things are happening the way they are. Right? So, and then you put, night vision goggles on, and then you see clearly exactly all the details of, details. And that's what XI is, exponential intelligence. So it's a body of knowledge that I've put together. I didn't create it. It's a timeless body of knowledge that's been around since the dawn of time. It's, like I said, it's timeless. And I put that together in a deep understanding. And I now call it exponential intelligence. I've worked with hundreds of thousands of people, transforming their lives much faster than psychology, neurolinguistic programming, prayer, anything that's out there. It's a lot faster. And I'm not denouncing any of those modalities. They're fantastic modalities, but those modalities are those modalities are like using a shovel. Right? If you had to get yourself, out of life, right, or pull yourself or dig yourself out of a hole that you've dug yourself in, are you going to use a shovel or those big, excavator cranes that just come in and huge tons and tons of garbage? So the shovel would be psychology, NLP, and all that. The excavator that rapidly transforms, your foundation, it would be exponential intelligence. So I'm not going to get into too much details. It's a lot on the website, sajady.com, or if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see. But for now, let's go ahead and read some people, because I can pinpoint exactly, and that's what I was talking about earlier. You need to get to the core level issue. I can pinpoint exactly, what's going on with you, and then at my time, 8:45, right? 8:45 Pacific time, 10:45 Central time, wherever you are in the world. We'll do a live world meta healing on, freedom and what freedom is really about. Okay, so and then also we'll pick somebody live, but to speed, transform people or deprogram people, as I call it, because a lot of your programmings mess you up. That's what it is. It's not what you do, how you do it, but it's the deep level programming, and I'll show you what that means. So let's take a deep breath in, again, noticing where you are, noticing the space around you. And it doesn't matter whether I pick on you or not, I'm still going to be working on you because I'm sending out those frequencies. All right. Another deep breath in as I scan the group, see what's going on, tap into you. If you're new to me, again, not familiar with the way my abilities work, just watch and listen, and you'll start to go, whoa, that's pretty different, very different. But everybody has these abilities. And then a powerful breath in again. I'm just going to get a little closer to the phone here. so I can see you guys properly. Alrighty. So this one on YouTube, Isabel. And if I mispronounce your name, guys, I'm so sorry. This one's on YouTube. I have aggressive defending distortions. I feel always attacked. Therefore, I respond defensively. If you can scan me. Yes. So for Isabel, um, I see that again, your mother into say deep religion or very spiritual beliefs or almost superstitious. So those superstitions have become so real for you from your mother. Because in your mind's eye, you can create things, right? Just that's how say hypnosis works, right? You can create it so real that you actually feel like you're freezing or that you're a duck or whatever. So for Isabel, and it's not that I'm not saying it's you're hallucinating, but you've gone into say realities that are so distorting. So you're always getting pushed into say the corner for you, and that's why physically in the physical representation or physical rendition you're always getting pushed into a corner or you're getting pushed by people, so you would have to act defensively. It's got nothing to do. In fact, if you were if you were home alone, you would feel what I'm talking about. You would feel that something is pushing you out of this reality or basically out of your body. So let's snap you back in. For those who are new to me, yes, I can edit people. I can transform people. Again, whether you believe me or not, it doesn't really matter. I bypass all the belief systems, and that's why it's so powerful. So that's what's happening for you, Isabel. And then also, your mom's still around. She's not dead. So she'll say push into you as she gets older, basically overtaking your identity or your body. So. Um, we'll go over to Facebook here. Sure, Bonnie Smith, New Brunswick, Canada. Love to have this meditation healing at this time of day. Yes. Oh, thanks, guys. I can just read you, Bonnie, since you're here. Bonnie, it just seems like you're transitioning. From what I'm seeing, you're getting ready. You're preparing yourself to say transition out of your space, out of your identity, which is really, really fantastic. So let's push you say over, or let's help you say get that extra confidence. Because whenever you've done this before, you get to a certain point, you make the changes, and then you fall back into say your old state. So whether it's a relationship or other things, you always cycle back, and that's the problem. You always cycle back. And by the way, if I read you guys, can you just comment? Not for my benefit because I know I'm accurate, but for other people who may be new as well. So let's get you disconnected from that loop. Okay. Just give me a second. And by the way, if you are listening in and you're running those patterns, I'll be working on you as well. Okay. The details on how I work, because I had a lot of you go, well, how does that work? Those you can find out on, say, my YouTube channel, my podcast, Exponential Intelligence. Okay. This one Ensifer. Hi, Moss. It feels like my boss is trying to control me, and pretty much everybody else. Your whole life. Although you would say pinpoint, say special events, special situations, or you would pinpoint a special person. Say like you get into a relationship, they'll try to control you. So you've always had somebody say controlling you at some level all the time. So it's not just your boss. Your boss is just finding that opportunity that you're sending out that says, "Hey, control me." In any situation. And although you most likely are, say, the grunt worker or that person that everybody comes to get stuff done, to get ideas, you get no credit for it. Right? Again, you're that mule. So let's help you disconnect from that. Anything that happens to you, and I'm not saying it's your fault in any way, anything that happens to you, there's a frequency in you that's say creating or rendering it in your life. Okay, most people, and that's why most anybody who tries to say stop the abuse, stop the distortion, stop the control in this case is always an outside deal. We got to pass laws, we got to do this, we got to pull away from this person, and then you abuse yourself or you control yourself. When you're in private, you control yourself. You're demanding of yourself. So what's the difference? I guess it's outside control or inside control. So let's help you disconnect from that. Yeah, just give me a second. And then again, anybody else who runs those patterns of people like pushing into you, let's make it a broader frequency. Let's help you see the pattern that you're allowing that makes that happen to you. Okay, breath in. So what I'm doing for you literally is helping you reprogram the way you render your life. Okay? So in this case, you always need, say, somebody to control you, because if you don't, you'll feel lost and useless. So useless coming from, it's not even your pattern. It seems like it's a father pattern of no matter what he did, he felt useless. So he's basically burdened you with that pattern. Okay. Let's go back, into the beginning. A ton of people online, guys. Obviously, I can't read everybody. Thanks for changing the time. Hopefully, you guys. Sure. A lot of people asked that changing the time, so thank you. Yes, this is Sarah Halzer. Life. Hello, if you can get the chance to please scan me, sure. So, Sarah, there's a lot of what happens to you, Sarah, is that men in general, masculine frequency. So it doesn't have to be, say, a man. It could be a woman running a masculine frequency. So when you're running those types of patterns, basically men, say, come into you, or you lose your identity. So you would be, say, one of the boys, so to speak. But if you're one of the boys, you're never a woman, and you'll never feel complete. So that's where relationships, say, end, or they never really start for you. It seems like you've had, like, say, 7 relationships, like short-term type relationships, or you just start get going, or you're like in place, or you're thinking it's going to move to the next stage, and then somehow out of the blue, it's like, hey, I want to break up, and you go, what the hell happened? Well, that's what happens as you get more and more intimate with somebody. What happens is that they start to see that masculine identity that you've taken on to be liked, so to speak. So literally you start to adopt, if they're masculine, you start to adopt them. So you turn into them, so to speak. And then when they get intimate, it's like, well, they're connecting with another male. So male and male just doesn't work out well. So that's why. But it also affects you in other ways as well, because again, you can never feel, say, like a strong woman. So helping you disconnect from that pattern. Many of you are asking if I've had an upgrade. Yes, I have. Many of you who have been XIers, you're feeling that upgrade because you're ascending as well. So yeah, a lot of transformations coming up. We're going to be talking about that on the Freedom Medihealing coming up. This is Patricia Ross. Can you also work on my best friend of 35 years, Michael? He just has a lot going on, and I know anything will help him. He always has a lot going on, even if he doesn't have anything going on. It's just like Michael, like really stays busy. And by the way, what's it? And I'm not cutting anybody down, but you have a pattern of like always being there for somebody, but your life gets stunted. That's no way to help people, although it might make you feel important for a bit, but then that, say, drama goes away, and then you look for another drama again because it makes you feel important, but you'll never feel important. especially as you age, or especially as you're alone, or especially as you say become intimate with somebody, because, well, you start to understand all their patterns, their programming, and so on, but you can't do anything about it, and then you'll feel less important. So for you, just helping you remove that. From Michael, he has a tendency of, say, keeping busy, just because he will feel, well, he'll feel like he's dying, or he feels like he's worthless, and he'll, again, I'm not a doctor in any way or anything, so if I say, read you and I tell you health issues, it's my point of view or what I see. Okay? As a note, nobody can heal you, not even Western medicine, Eastern medicine, or anything like that. Nobody can heal you if your own natural healing abilities are not awakened. So if they are awakened, right, your own internal natural healing abilities, then surgery or whatever will actually help you. But if not, nothing will help you. Okay, so don't, the medical community or whatever they say, don't believe in them. Don't believe in anybody. Believe in yourself. So what I do best is awaken your natural healing abilities. All right, and then Western medicine, Eastern medicine, anything in between will help you. Okay. So for Michael, he seems to run, say, depressive states, depressive modalities, almost like suicidal tendencies, in his pattern. So what he does is, like, says, I don't want to look at that side of my life, otherwise I'll get, say, sucked into it. So that's why he always says keeps busy or nonchalant, so to speak, because he'll never interact deeply into people. He's always like surface level, because if he goes too deep, he starts to read problems of other people. And once you read problems of other people, he'll get sucked into those problems. Very sensitive, but doesn't know how to use his abilities. All right, guys. Let's take a deep breath in. Again, guys, Moss's Medihealing Sundays. We might just turn it with Moss on Sundays. So we're not sure. If you like that name, Moss on Sundays, instead of Moss Medihealing Sundays, comment in. We're always say transforming, changing. This is Allison McDonald. Hi, Moss. Please, can you explain and help? My brother is angry and irresponsible, and I'm exhausted trying to fix it. Can you offer any advice or help? Again, don't fix it. Let it go. You're not there. You're not the burden taker of people. In your family, you've been denoted as a burden taker of your family. What the hell? It hasn't helped you. You've been like that since you were 3 or 4. Taking on your mom's burden, or I don't know if it's your mom. Your mom doesn't feel like your mom. It could be a grandma or somebody else that took care of you. But again, your mom, even if it is your mom, doesn't feel like your mom. So you have to release that. By the way, helping people in the way people help people is no good. It's very destructive. It's very distortive. To me, to XI components, it would be a sin. Okay, it's the gravest sin, because you're doubling up, and I'm not going to get into the science behind that, just because it takes too long. But help yourself first. Okay, and I'll just give you a clue. Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Tesla, any great, say, individual who brought, say, massive change in this reality, what do? Be alone. They helped themselves, hence they helped the world. They understood who they were first. So if it worked for them, guys, it'll work for you. So trust what works. So pull back, understand yourself, fix yourself first. Don't fix others. Okay, you'll never fix them. You'll never fix you. And then once you understand yourself, your light, your congruency, your completeness will say fix them. So your brother, on the other hand, seems like your mom has had, yeah. And I could be on, but I'm not. Your mom seems like she's even had, say, abortions or lost children. 1, 2, 3, 4, like at least 3 or 4, or in the family, there's like death of babies, so to speak. Those essences, I call them, say, timeless beings. You might label them as spirits. Those essences, those essences, they push into, say, the live child of that family, so they take over. So your brother has, say, almost like, I would say, like, say, split personalities, not double personalities. So that's why he changes Like one day he's like, oh, he's totally fine. That would be him. And then the other two personalities say come in, and that's where it gets disruptive. So you can't help anybody with those types of patterns. But let's help disconnect, say, the children. And then let's take a deep breath in, guys, and help those, say, children that just didn't make it for some reason or another, abortions, loss for some reason. Again, strong deep breath in again, especially for those individuals who have lost kids, whether you're the father, you're the mother, or your sibling. There we go. Even if you don't know. And what I do is so immediate. Many of you, especially if you say lost uh, kids, children in your family, you'll feel that, say, rise, or say awareness or a lightness in you, especially if you've actually physically, say, lost somebody like that. Um, so again, what I do is pretty much immediate. You'll see that in Moss's Medihealing Sundays, or Moss on Sundays, whichever one that you guys like best. There we go. So releasing, say, all the death that's out there, and comment in, see how you feel after that, say, brief deprogramming, as I call it. Okay. This is such a long name, but Christina Lopez, the other name. Please scan me, Moss. Thank you. By the way, I don't need to know anything. I don't even need to know your real name to scan you. So for that individual, Christina Lopez, because it's in your frequency that you send out. Okay. There we go. And then we'll work on this Cortez. So for Christina, it seems like you have no identity of yourself. You literally don't have any identity of yourself. So what you do is you try to, say, absorb other people's personality, which is actually really a fantastic gift to have. But you, but what's wrong is that it's like, since you don't like yourself, so to speak, you'll be somebody else by literally copying almost everything about them, and that you'll try it on. It's like an outfit that's made for somebody else. You'll try it on. It doesn't fit really well. And then you go, what the hell? And then you'll try to, say, disrobe or disconnect from that personality, but you can't, because that residue is there. So time after time after time. And then you'll try again, time after time, somebody else's personality, complete personality. So, and then what happens is, like, you don't like that. So, but each time you've tried it, you've had a layer of their residue still within you. So you feel like many different people, or you don't know who you are. You don't even know what you like or dislike. It changes, say, from day to day. So that's why that reason is, because other people's, say, frequencies come into you. So let's release, or wash away. As a note, guys, this isn't I don't want to say it's not a feel good session, because it is, but this is more like a surgical removal. It literally is. I see your patterns. You get disconnected. You get disconnected. Literally, it's like you have this surgical tumor. In your case, loss of identity. You disconnect that pattern. It is like removing a tuner. So you will probably get distorted, because you won't be anybody for a little bit, and you can't latch onto anybody. You can't pull anybody into you. So again, many of you who run that pattern, you'll feel really lost. You'll feel messed up. But then from that, what'll happen is that you'll start to own your own identity. Okay, and then you can use that gift of going, oh, I like that person's success pattern, and you start to realize. And I do that in the business mastery courses and lectures that I teach. Is that you pull. It's like, whoa, I like that person's success pattern. What makes them so successful? And then you go, oh, that's what that programming pattern is. And then you just copy that bit of programming, and then you run your own pattern of their success pattern, if that makes sense to you. So, okay. 8:43. In just a few minutes, guys, we're going to start Moss's Meta Healing Sundays. By the way, the picture behind me is very different. Some of you are new. It's like, well, shit, that's not very spiritual. It's a beautiful woman with hot lips. It's my I say my fiance. She's an artist. She paints that, and well, it's the new look of spirituality. Because why does spirituality have to be, say, draining? Why does spirituality have to be distorting? Why does spirituality or religion or anything like that have to be controlling? If that makes sense to you, right? That's all a myth. If you look at anybody, they're not free in this reality, and they're not free on the other reality. I know, because I see the other reality as well. And it doesn't work. It's all control mechanisms, but we're going to be talking about that in just about a minute. I'm just going to read, say, one more person. Carisha, Scoopy, Moss, can you scan me and my daughter, please? Yeah. So your daughter, she seems like she's really lost, if that makes sense to you. Or I might be reading, say, you in her. So either way, because sometimes, it seems like what you do is you're so, say, loving, and this is, I have issues with parents. They're so loving, they think that they want to do everything for their kids. But then the problem with that is that if they do everything for their kids, you're not doing it for your kids. You're doing it because your life is so lost that you want to make sure that their life isn't. But then you just literally say, infuse all the distortions, all the fears of you into your daughter. So that's what's happening to your daughter. Again, no offense, but that's what I see. I could be wrong, just to say soften the blow, but I'm not. And if it hurts, let it allow you to stand up and strengthen on your own, so to speak, or yeah. Because you'll see, and the reason why I say this on, because even in this mini session, your daughter will start to say separate from your identity of what you think she's like compared to what she's like, right? What she really is, because she's not like you. Um, and it's not that she doesn't like you or anything like that, but you pull away or you get pushed away. So it's a separation of identity. And again, many people who are insecure or incomplete on their own, what they'll do is like, they'll feel really sad as, say, that disconnect happens. And that's why I say that to you. But as that disconnect happens, you'll see that your daughter like coming to life or blossoming. And it could be the father as well, but the father feels feminine to me as well. So again, a feminine frequency pushing into your daughter. Because you want them to be strong, you want them to be powerful. Well, the best way for powerful kids, strong kids, is not to, say, push your distortions upon them, thinking that I'm keeping them secure or I love them. That's no way to show love, by the way. So as you pull away, as these frequencies, or when I'm helping you against that sense of separation, you feel the insecurity that you have, and then you'll have to go back to, say, your childhood and all the insecurities that you felt. Oh, that's what it is. So when you were a kid, you were never taken care of, almost like an outcast, so to speak, in your own home. If that makes sense to you. And you're going, I'm never going to do that to my child. But you're creating that same pattern, unfortunately. Just the flip side. Okay. So before, say, when you were growing up, there was no love, no whatever attention. You're on the other side. But again, you're comparing yourself and doing the opposite. It gets the same results. So your daughter feels lost just like you did, but just the opposite. Okay. So anyway, removing that for you. So let's take a deep breath in, guys. And welcome to Moss's Meta Healing Sundays. And I know a lot more people say joined in. So welcome, guys. Thanks for being here. We're here to change the world. We're not here to change the world by, exposing the truth. We're not here to change the world by demanding laws or demanding our government be better for us, or push laws, or other people should do this. Because that stuff, it's good and, it's heartfelt. We're not here I'm not here to say help people in the way most people help people by and again, I donate and all that stuff, but very differently by donating or all that stuff that people do that really doesn't help. Even philanthropy, by the way, it doesn't help. I'm here to say transform the world in a very different way. I'm here to transform who you are. Okay? Because if you read any sage, if you read any, say, anybody from Jesus to, say, the great philosophers, what do they say? Work on yourself. Be the best damn possible self. And I think they actually use the damn part. Be the best damn possible self of you that you can be, and then the world will change around you. Okay. So that's what I'm here for. People miss that part, though. People are always outside of themselves, especially in this case of freedom. It's like we have to fight for freedom. When you're fighting for freedom, do you really get freedom? You really don't. And then there's, countries. I'm not going to use any specific country, but, there are always these political leaders, well, it's like I'm doing God's work. I'm fighting for God. And again, that's the problem. Everybody's fighting for freedom. Everybody's fighting for the truth. Everybody's fighting for health. Everybody's fighting to be, say, respected. Everybody's fighting to be, you'll never fucking find the truth. Okay. You never, ever will. You'll never find your freedom. You'll never find your health because you're fighting against something. So what does that tell you? It tells you that you're not that something. You're the opposite and you're searching for that something. So this is a meta healing. So I'll talk as I guide you, and many of you are probably feeling those frequencies anyway as we've ramped up. So let's take a deep breath in. And these meta healings are so powerful. The meditations are so powerful. They call it a Medihealing, which is again, a very powerful meditation. Even if you can't meditate, I'll push you into those states. And then a self-healing or a self-awakening, if you will. So let's take a deep breath in and just notice your surroundings. Just open your eyes, keep your eyes open, and just look around you. Look how I'm projected. Look at the background. Look at anything, say, that's detail, and then notice yourself. Notice your chest, your chin, your tip of your nose, your ears, whatever, as you notice outside references. Another strong breath in again. And we'll do this really quick. I'll just push you into those states. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Connecting to the group. A ton of people on the call. The more, the better. So tell your friends, family, that you really want to transform. Tell them to get on every Sunday. The more people we have, the stronger the frequencies get, because that's how we really transform the world. We want all the same thing. In this case, freedom. Right? So we're looking in the same direction. We're all wanting that. So it creates momentum, creates strength for us. Breath in again. Asking ourselves, how do I become my best possible self I can be? How do I become my limitless self? How can I be my best self even more? So one, it assumes, and again, if you do nothing else with me, just ask yourself that every second, every day that you can. But it assumes that you are already connected. You want more of that. How can I be limitless even more? Okay. I talk about this on true goal setting, by the way. In my seminars, the real way to say materialize things. Strong breath in again. So the problem with freedom as I scan you, okay? So what you're feeling, by the way, is frequencies that I generate for you, frequencies that I generate, that I help you generate. There we go. And those frequencies are very close to nature. So a couple of things. I don't create frequencies for you. It's not a feel-good frequency. It is a feel-good frequency, but I don't resonate. So it's not my frequencies. I basically edit you. So you're the frequency generator, okay? And then the more you generate that frequency, the more, say, in this case, freedom you'll have. So just like nature, say, consumes you. right? It allows you, it say absorbs you, and keeps you, makes you feel secure in that way. You can be yourself. You can be your best part. You can be free to be yourself and remove those distortions that you're not. Okay, so that's how nature does it. So, and again, it's an outside frequency. So what I do is like, well, hell, you're a frequency generator. So why not use your own abilities? And then what I do is I help you resonate with the frequencies of nature that help you become your best possible self, or in this case, um, present, becoming present, because that's your freedom that you're looking for. And I know that sounds strange, but I'll put you in different situations. So let's take a deep breath in. And I'll just stay quiet for a minute, and I'll generate frequencies for you. Okay? And just notice how you feel. Again, if you're not feeling good, that's the purpose. So stick with me. Okay? For some of you, it might be immediate. I didn't take that much time. But if you feel like oppressed, or say something's pulling away from you, or you're feeling that lack or a void, again, not a feel good frequency, that's what you want freedom for. So if you're always, say, selling yourself, if you're always that victim, you would want freedom. You would want to fight. So the reason why I gave you that, and I'm still generating those frequencies for you, okay? And then we'll walk away from it, because you have to understand what's causing the issues, so to remove it, right? It works better that way. So that's the underlying frequency that most, well, all of you, depending on, say, your programming, you run. So if you're always, say, in a sense of lack, you'll want freedom from, say, oppression, or if you're running a victim pattern, right, you want to stand up and be that freedom, or come into that freedom. There we go. So notice how you feel. So that's the freedom that you always want. In reality, freedom is being congruent with yourself. Freedom is understanding your highest version of who you are. Call it your timeless version. You might call it your spirit. And then your identity, your physical identity here, your time-bound identity. That's the merging. So the freedom is to understand both aspects of yourself. Okay? It shows up in different ways. People being oppressed. Okay? Now, I say, put those frequencies upon you and you felt oppressed. It wasn't a physical frequency. That's the way you feel. So you would have to run away from that frequency. And then you would, say, render it in physical form, where people, say, would oppress you. If that makes sense to you. People who are always, say, fighting for the truth, always that victim, or what I call it, the underdog frequency, right? They want to be freedom. They want to help the world free themselves. But then they're the underdog frequency. As we take another deep breath in, as I help you detangle yourself. The underdog frequency is basically a victim that keeps standing up and then getting beat up over and over again. It looks honorable. But not very functional. So let's help you with that. Notice your solar plex area. And notice there we go. Notice how you're feeling throughout your whole flesh. Let's take a deep breath in again into the solar plex area. And again, notice your flesh. So freedom from oppression. And if you've noticed that those people who practice XI, as you become stronger, people around you, your loved ones, might say suppress you or oppress you. It's a good sign. It's a good sign that you're awakening, coming into your own strength. That's why it's good, and that's why it's powerful for you. So if you wonder, it was like, why are they controlling me more? I went to, I meditated with Moss on freedom, and now I feel more, say, constrictive. And that's good because you're ascending higher to a different plane already right out the bat, or give it a couple hours. And then what you'll do is like, you'll feel that constriction that you always had as you walk away from it. Does that make sense? So that's why after this session, you'll feel more constrictive or more constrained. Things will distort you or disturb you or irritate you because you've moved away. So take a deep breath in. And I know it's very powerful, but from what I'm sensing, you guys are just like separating that identity. So that identity that you're pulling away from, that's uncomfortable for you, you don't want to come back to it. That's what's been constricting you. That's the programming. That's the pattern that I'm deprogramming you in. So again, I urge you not to go back. It's not going to feel the same. It's not going to make you feel secure because you're awakened already. That's why you can feel it. If you run back to it, basically, you're running into the arms of your own abuse. Okay? And then it's your issues because you consciously go, I'm going back. It's not going to work out because you're awakened. Wonderful breath in. So the right way to do it is to, again, allow that separation, that irritation, the anger, and all those things that have, say, suppressed you or controlled you or made you lose your freedom. Any way that you may, say, like your father was angry at you, like many of you from what I'm seeing, like a quarter of you, and that, say, suppressed you. It forced you to, say, um, do whatever he wanted you to do to keep him happy, right? So what do you do? So then, so that anger, you're going to get angry. Okay, it's a good thing because your internals, your higher self goes, well, shit, anger was a really good tool to control me. So I'm going to use that tool because it's proven itself. I'm going to use that tool to push away. So again, if abuse, not abuse, distortions, anger, even depression, after the session come about, it's a good thing because those things made you lose your freedom. Okay. So now you're going to use that. You're going to get depressed. It's like, shit, I've lost, my life. And then you'll go, I don't want to do that anymore. So you're going to, you're going to take, say, the bull by the horns, right? And you go, I'm not going to do that again. See how that works, the depression or anger. You'll see how people have controlled you in the past or how people are controlling you now. It's not about them. And then you'll go, shit, I'm not going to let that happen again to me. So that's the proper way of using negative emotions. Don't believe the bullshit that, you walk away from negative emotions into positive ones. No matter who the guru is, no matter who the self-development or personal development guru is, they don't know what they're talking about. Again, try it out. See how it works out for you. And then you can make your own conclusions on how successful using negative emotions are. Wonderful breath in. There we go. That'll help you separate that identity. You'll feel like two people. Your old self peeling away. Your new identity coming through. You don't want to focus in on the distortions because what you focus on, you get more. You don't have to understand why that shit happened to you. Okay, that keeps you in that hole for those individuals who keep, say, burying themselves deeper and deeper. You want to focus in on the newness in you. Notice the awkwardness in you, maybe the confusion in you, maybe whatever that's in you. That's awkward, confused, a little fearful, not sure. Again, notice that newness. It's the new you coming into this reality, right? And then notice that sense of strength, most importantly. Amidst all that awkwardness, that sense of strength, that internal desire, that deep down knowing of you, who you are, right? That grander version of who you are, that's coming forward. So focus in on that. Don't focus on why did this shit happen to me? Why did this happen to me? Why did that? Again, your mind, what you focus on or what you pay attention to, you're going to get more, especially as you awaken. So breath in again. And I know it gets really intense for you. This isn't a meditation where it's a feel-good meditation. You walk away back into your own life. Right? So your personal frequencies. Let's expand that out. Okay? Because again, this is a worldwide meta-healing meditation. So this allows you to be free from, say, the oppression of, say, government mechanisms, or even freeing the government. I'm not against government. I'm not for government. I'm not against or for anything. If it's beneficial for you, if it's beneficial to see your light, if it's beneficial for you to become limitless, then it's good for you. If it's not, then I'm against it. Okay, so let's take a deep breath in. So helping those, say, government mechanisms or control sources, whether it's the media, whether it's whoever, corporations, whether government, political, religious patterns, right? Helping them help you properly not through control mechanisms or fear tactics or lying or, propaganda, because it doesn't help you, right? How can you be free if you don't know, say, the truth? So again, working, or if you want to call it, and I think praying for them, um, to do the best possible self. So it's not just your issue, right? But you want to be as congruent or perfect as you can, right? You want to be that complete self. You want other people to help you, whether it's government mechanisms all the way down to your spouse. Okay? You want that freedom. So unhelping you, say, unshackle yourself from the chains or oppression or control mechanisms, both sides. Strong breath in again. Again, noticing your spine, noticing your solar plex. Do you notice that freedom comes from the inside, not a law or something else somebody does to free you? If you don't believe me, look at all the activism, um, Black Lives Matter, the Me Too movements. Over the years, not just recently. More oppression. That's why. Wonderful breath in again. So again, freeing you from the inside out. Notice how you're feeling. Notice that strength coming, say, deep within you. And again, notice if you're feeling, say, awkward or disoriented, notice what's inside you, what's happening inside of you, your internal mechanisms, not outside of you. There we go. So you start becoming free from the patterns of your family, the illness mechanisms, the sense of lack, however that might be, the abuse patterns, the whatever patterns that have held you, suppressed you down, whatever patterns say that you um, or hold you down from outside of you. So both internally, freeing you from you, the distorted version of you, and then helping you say externally. As a note, if I shut down on Instagram, just stay quietly meditating on your own. Okay, it ends after an hour. So it's not about the mechanical connection; it's about the higher frequency connection. I'll still be connected with you, and vice versa. Just stay there if you'd like. Breath in again. Again, if you're feeling uncomfortable, that's what's holding you back. As a note, it's not me. It's not my garbage. It's I'm like that flashlight that's shining what's, well, suppressing you, so helping you free yourself, helping you understand what freedom is really about. So if you're feeling that, it's again your distortions. So as you become, say, grander version of who you are, you'll feel all the garbage that you're not come out of you. So again, that's you. So maybe you're feeling really anxious and all that. Just stay with it, because that's what has kept you like locked or chained or shackled or burdened or suppressed or oppressed. Okay? So stay here, even if we end on Instagram. And I'll help you say disconnect. Again, that's what's been holding you back all your life. It's not me. It's nothing new. You're just awakening to the fact what's really holding you back. Okay? Those who are really anxious, stay here. Breathe in deep. Does it help you say disconnect? Again, anxious, nervous, all those um, patterns coming forward. Again, that's your life. Go back. Don't focus in on me. Focus in on, oh shit, that happened to me at 2, 10, 12, whatever age. Again, those emotions are your emotions of the past coming out to wash away. This isn't a suppression mechanism. This isn't like psychology or NLP. This is about deleting those programs. Again, don't focus in on, oh, Moss brought that about. I didn't. I'm just helping you release what's holding you back, all the way back into, when you're in utero in your mom's belly. Breath in again, strong breath in. Those who are feeling, say, that freedom, that grandness within you, that's where you want to be. For those who are, say, feeling that suppression, that's what your next step would be. If you, say, allow yourself to go forward and break free. Okay? Again, breath in again. Just noticing how you're feeling. Wonderful breath in again. Again, notice that's eased off for you, for those who are in that camp, for those who are, again, feeling that expansive state, that actual final, say, breath of freedom. You can even breathe easier, um, helping you understand freedom to keep you in that space. Again, for the other camp who just feeling, say, release, you want to go towards whatever that release was for you. Okay. And again, don't look back. Never look back, guys, on what you're disconnecting, unless you're far enough away. Um, Even those who are inquisitive, I need to look back. No, you don't. You really don't. Just keep running, right? Just keep walking away. In physical form, um, people, situations that, say, ever oppressed you, you'll feel that binding experience. Even if there's a new person that you'll come into, and then you'll feel that, say, oppression or compression around you, just walk away. You don't have to know anything more of that person, because in the future you connect with them and they'll oppress the hell out of you. Now you're doing something, say, proactively to make you free. Government mechanisms and so on like that, you'll start to see, say, the propaganda and the distortions, and then between that and the truth, what they're telling the truth or what's not real for you. Okay, so again, that's where government mechanisms, have to, say, get forced to push on to the truth. So your congruency forces, say, other people around you to become, say, more congruent or more. It allows you to be same. It allows you to help them become free for you. So again, freedom for you. Breath in again. There we go. Mm. There we go. Just gonna go ahead and keep you in this space for as long as you wish. whatever that you might be feeling. Again, if it's distortions, confusion, or ill memories, whatever it might be, again, that's your patterns of the past releasing from you. Look internally, look into that strength that's coming forward for you. Okay. For those who came on board late, it'll be published on YouTube, Facebook, and then Instagram. So you can re-listen to this. The last half will be the freedom meditation for you. Okay. And then also you can replay this and still say benefit from it. I can take you into those frequencies even on a recording to help you, again, be free of everything that's binding you. For more information on me, follow me on Instagram, because we do live posts, live pop-up meta healings. 18-day. If you really are gung-ho and really want to transform your life, fastest way possible. Again, I guarantee it's the fastest way to transform your life. It's the most intensive thing that you'll do, but again, the most worthwhile thing that you'll do. It's called an 18-day metamorphosis. It's an 18-day metamorphosis, and it transforms your life, literally all aspects of your life: physical, health, spiritual connections, wealth as well. It transforms you. Even in the first day, 3-4 days, you'll start to see the shift. Okay, it is very intense, but for those who are really serious, I don't want any whiners or crybabies or anything that say anybody that isn't responsible for their own, say, life identity. If you want to blame, it's not for you. I just tell you right out. But if you're really gung ho and really, really have that desire to transform your life, then the 18 days is for you. There's a foundational program for those who are new. Even if you're, say, super gung ho, I would take the foundational if you're new, because the accelerated frequencies get really, really intense. Even if you think you can make it, most people say it gets too intense for them. The changes are so fast. So again, if you're new, I would just take the foundational. Okay. For those who are advanced, the accelerated would be fantastic for you. But again, very intense transformational offerings for you. And that's on the website, sajady.com. All right, guys. Follow me on my YouTube channel for longer lectures or understanding on the science behind exponential intelligence. All right, guys. Take care. Notice what you notice, and then notice the details of what you're noticing. Hopefully everybody had a happy 4. Peace. Hi, guys. Moss.